by Bob Marley and the Wailers. It was recorded in 1972 and released on the 15th of January in 1973. So this is a 50-year-old song, and the record label, Island Records, reached out to Sarkodie and got him to do a feature on this. There's been a lot of support, but there's been a lot of hate as well. And I don't even understand the hate from our people here. Most of the hate is coming from Ghana, all right? But I went to YouTube, where the video is, just to find out what people are saying and where they are saying it from. So somebody says, anyone looking down on Sarkodie is really insane, rapping in his native language and murders any kind of beat. He's my African #1 rapper, love from Nigeria. Bob Marley's mother will be super proud of this collaboration. On Bob's mother's side, she stated that her grandfather is Akan. The Marley family and management team know what they are doing. This collab is for Sedela and the Ghanaian blood in them. Now I see why Bob Marley was so great at writing lyrics and creating long-lasting music. He has that Ghana fire blood in him. So this is probably a Jamaican. Beautiful. As a Nigerian, I love this combination. Congratulations, Sarkodie, and it's a plus to Ghana. So the top 3 comments, 1 Jamaican, 2 Nigerians. Then Kiddy Official comes in. Thank you so much, Kiddy. So Kiddy is Ghanaian. The real king on this is a great and unique expression of Ghana music, and he's really making it to the top. Nice flow, says Kiddy Official. This is history. I'm a proud Nigerian, but I must confess this Ghanaian collabo is fire and a pace setter. And then maybe last comment. We Jamaicans and the Ghanaian people have always had a strong connection. So guys, it's not all about ignorant comments about Sarkodie featuring a ghost. I mean, that's just an ignorant comment right there. All right? This is business. Island Record reaches out to the musician and they put a collabo on. They are making music and business together, and it's beyond even just music. It's Ghana, Jamaica, it's Pan-African. Let's support our own people, lad. All this unnecessary fighting takes us nowhere. So that's my rant this morning, all right? More fire, more stir it up. My name is Gavide. After I've stirred up your comments and your emotions, you can send me messages on 055-556-1034. My guests are seated. Dr. Kweku Anani Jinde is a corporate governance expert. He's a lecturer and a lawyer. He teaches at Gimpa Law Faculty and is responsible for shaping the minds of the new generation of lawyers. And we were having a conversation earlier and we said poverty and ignorance, they are deadlier than the tropical diseases.
Exactly.
Completely, yeah?
Exactly. But the danger is that John Plowman says, he who knows not, but knows not that he knows not, is a fool. Shun him.
I love that. He who knows not and knows not that he knows not is a fool. Shun him. I'm surrounded by wise men here. Another one is our guest who we normally see on a Wednesday. Today he has popped up on a Monday. Is Kofi Kapito. He's head of the Consumer Protection Agency. Kofi, good morning. Welcome to you.
Good morning, Kaf.
We are here because of Wachi.
Yeah, which is a good food.
Yes.
Because it has beans in it.
And beans is great.
Beans is good.
Yes. But then we had people die because of Wachi recently.
You know, these things will happen every now and then. Not because it's intentional. Sometimes people don't know what they are doing. From what I've been told by FDA, the sauce or the gravy, which was prepared, assuming you're going to sell tomorrow, so you prepare your gravy at night to sell in the morning. In this instance, a gravy that was left on Saturday, today is Monday, right? A gravy that was left on Saturday was mixed with the new one that was cooked on Sunday.
Okay.
So whether because it was left to the elements or some contamination took place, they mix it and people ate this thing. Unfortunately, one person died. So far, I think 53 people complain about food poison. So what's the name is place?
Yellow CC.
Yellow CC.
Yeah. At OUB.
At OUB. It's been closed down.
Shut down.
Shut down. That is the role of the FDA.
Of course.
I'm not holding brief for the FDA. The FDA's job is when they hear things like this, they move in, shut it down, do investigation. Whether they need to reopen or not is another question. People try to bash the FDA so much, especially when they even bring the news to warn the public that this is what we have found, so the public beware. My biggest issue, the FDA cannot be everywhere.
No.
But the metropolitan assemblies are everywhere. And they have a department called Public Health Department. The Public Health Department is supposed to do this inspection like the olden days. We call them tankers. Town council people, but we call them tankers. So the question is, where are the town council people who are in our neighborhoods, who will go through? I remember when I was a kid, I stayed with my aunt in Goso, and it was interesting when the town council people are coming, people quickly go and clean their water pots because they will come and stare. That's the public health department of the assemblies.
So verification.
Yes. Okay. Go ahead.
Let me just bring on the phone now, Director for Food and Registration and Applied Nutrition Directorate at the Food and Drugs Authority, Maureen Latte. Maureen, good morning. Maureen, good morning. You're live on GTV Breakfast. Do we have Maureen on the line?
Yes, please.
Maureen, good morning. Welcome to GTV Breakfast. And we want to find out what is the state of play right now with this suspected food poisoning from this Yellow CC joint. Where are we as far as the investigations are concerned?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, please. So the investigations are still ongoing. We went to the facility, we started on Sunday, we went there on Monday, and we were able to get some of the samples, but they have been compromised because the food was consumed on Friday, and we had the samples on Monday, and they were not kept under the right temperatures, so they have been compromised. But everything points out to stew that was left overnight on Thursday evening. It was left at the vending site, and on Friday it was mixed up with fresh stew, and it was served. So that is more or less the implicated product, the stew. But we are now relying on the medical report from the Ghana Health Service for the victims that were taken to the hospital, their medical report, so that we can be able to conclude on something here.
Right. What's the relation between the FDA and the local authorities who are supposed to find out what's happening on the ground and then send such reports to the FDA?
Yes, we have a good relationship with the MMD, the Environmental Health Officers of the MMD. So with the street vended foods, we train them, we collaborate with them, and we do the inspections together. So we came up with the street vending permit. That was in 2021. But prior to that, we had started a project with FAO. That was in 2018 or so. So when the project fizzled out, FDA took it upon itself to incorporate it into our daily activities. So we got the environmental health officers on board. We train them, and then we team up and we do the work with them because they are on the ground. FDA can't be everywhere, but they are everywhere. So we team up with them to do the inspection.
Okay, a quick question before I bring in my guests. How do you certify cocoa sellers, wache vendors, yokagari merchants? How do you certify them?
Yes, so they just come and pick a form, they complete and submit, and then we do the inspections with the environmental health officer. They don't pay anything, it's just a form, they pay 5 cedis. We do the inspections with the EHU, and then we certify them. So we just look at their environment. If it's not compliant, we give them the necessary guidance. We go back, check, When they become compliant, then we certify them.
These joints that are sited close to public toilets and gutters, how does that happen?
For public joints close to public toilets and gutters, no. And then we would have to ask them to relocate because they can't certify a joint that is by a public toilet.
So when I go to a food vending area, can I ask to see their certificate from the FDA?
Yes, please. It is a small permit that has been given to them, and they are supposed to display them. So you wouldn't even have to go and ask. When you get there, you are supposed to see. But in case you don't see, you can always ask them. Because they are supposed to display so that it becomes very, very visible to all their clients who come and patronize their product.
Okay, even the Osukelewele seller by the roadside and Davi who sells abobo in Medina, I can ask them for a certificate?
Yes, so once they are selling food, then they are supposed to be certified.
Okay, Kofi Kapito from Consumer Protection Agency has a question for you.
Not for the FDA. I mean, like I said, I work with FDA. I'm even a member of the certification committee. So I know the works of FDA. Unfortunately, they've done a wonderful job under the new administrator, Mrs. Delisa Darko. Some of the food vendors, even after going through the training of the FDA, if you tell a food vendor, wash your hands under running water, okay, the water next door or in the house is not running. So when they fetch the water, they will wash and rewash, then the water also becomes either dirty or contaminated. So you see, it's the whole chain of things that is broken down. If you say somebody should not sell by the gut, I remember when I was a kid, you know this white loaf, the one with the powder on it. When the assemblies were working properly, they call it sieve, like a box. And then they so that it will stop flies and things. Okay. Now, you see the lady, there's a white cloth in the middle of the bread. So the end is exposed, this end is exposed, and she thinks it is covered. Then you and I are the ones who will go and buy it. Consumer education is very, very important. Look, they say the consumer also has a responsibility. They say if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. People go to the market, instead of fresh tomatoes or it's expensive, they buy rotten ones. I've seen meat displayed on the floor in some of the markets in Ghana. And our wives, our mothers, sisters will go and buy them because that is the cheapest one. I mean, they say there's a saying in my tree that will be in town a cock be dear quack. That says nobody will sell the cock just for nothing.
For no reason.
For yes, you know.
So let me get back. Thank you for that, Maureen. So with the running water issue, is it possible to mandate that all vendors have Veronica buckets so that they have running water?
It's good. You know, with the onset of the coronavirus, we educated everyone, and we're all using the Veronica buckets. We were very strict with hygiene, and cholera cases went down. But in December, we realized that cholera cases have started resurfacing. So we have to mandate that all the street vendors have Veronica buckets.
Okay.
Because once you are producing food, then with producing, selling food, then hygiene should be a priority.
Indeed.
And with hygiene, once you have water, running water that you can always wash your hands, then we are assured that personal hygiene is being taken care of, and the food you are selling will be safe for your clients and your consumers.
Thank you. One more question before I let you go. So, Dr. Kwekwanani Jinde has a question for you.
Yeah, good morning, madam.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, well, my first question is, do you know for a fact that this particular joint has been certified by the FDA?
No, this particular joint hasn't been certified. Velocity hasn't been certified.
Okay. That's my question.
You know, but let me ask, Maureen, how are you?
Fine, thank you, sir.
You know, I know you people do a lot of training.
Yes,
some from food vendors who wants to do the right thing comes to you. My biggest issue is, you know, anybody that handles food is supposed to wear a cap on their head.
Yeah.
I mean, even when they come to training, and maybe you could educate the Metro Health people that hat wearing should be something that we should see all the time. But you go, maybe they might even have a certificate from FDA, but they don't even wear the cap.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so thank you for that. I mean, issues of
No, you see, I
certification.
had a follow-up question.
Yeah, quickly.
She just confirmed that they've not been certified. So can we know, may we know why they've not been certified? And are they the only food vendors who have not been certified by the FDA?
Well, certainly not just them. Certainly not just them. I'm sure there are quite a number too that haven't been certified. But we have been going around. This year we had a number of national service personnel to help us with that. We have zoned them. They are in their areas and they are helping with that. So we hope before the year runs out, we'll be able to reach out to a number of them. Because as Ghanaians, people wouldn't willingly come out to come and pick forms and certify them. You would have to go and push them to do that. So that is what we are doing now.
Okay, Maureen, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for speaking to us and giving us the education, and we look forward to the outcome of the investigations. Maureen Lartey.
Thank you so much for having us.
It's a pleasure. Maureen Lartey is with the Food and Drugs Authority, and we're following up this Yellow CC Oyibi Wache food poisoning matter. 5 people dead, and investigation is going. Be very careful where you buy your food, what you put in your system. Condolences to the families of those who've lost their lives. It's going to be very difficult for this company to bounce back. And are they?
Well, it's not a company. It's
a venture.
It's a venture.
Okay, so
it's one man's business.
Are there legal issues
There are
involved
legal issues involved.
Yes.
This is why I wanted to find out
Yes.
whether they've been certified
they've not.
by the FDA.
Yes.
If that is the case, it means
There's some liability.
if you want to, you see, if you are going for a small company like that, you do your assessment. Do they have even the means? If you sue them for whatever compensation, they don't have it. So that if they don't have it and then they have been certified by the FDA, then you can go after the FDA because FDA they have bigger packets.
Or won't the assembly be responsible for pointing out these people so that they be certified?
Jointly,
Yes.
and severally. But you can sue the FDA and then the assembly. For negligence because they were supposed to certify. If you don't certify and then I see that person doing business on the street, I assume that they've been certified.
All right.
But if you have failed in that duty, it means you want to go after them. But a small company like this,
I would like to engage lawyer in suing the Metropolitan Assemblies for and then National Road Safety Commission
On accident issues.
on accidents and signboards and whatever. You see, but the funny thing is not to put his people don't really do cases like that because I'll ask them to not charge me because this is a service to the nation. Most lawyers will tell you at least give me something.
Yeah.
And that is very, very disheartening because that's why people get away with murder in Ghana.
Yeah.
In where I lived, which is America, I will even sue you for stepping on my yard. I mean, into my yard. I get to my point.
Even for cutting a tree in your yard,
in
and
my
then
yard.
the branches fall into my yard.
Even I need a permit before I can cut the tree. I need a permit before I can cut the tree. Calf, you see?
Yeah.
Not that the laws are not here in Ghana.
They're there.
The laws are here.
But
how do you go to court or where do you get a lawyer and go and pursue
these
matters? At the moment, maybe, hopefully, if things work, goes on well, I'll be in court after PRC because these things that is going on. Look, they talk about because the cedi to the dollar. That's why the utilities need to
go up.
I don't have a problem with you increasing it. What about quality of service delivery? That is the job of the PRC. Yeah. It is their mandate to make sure that I get uninterrupted flow of water and electricity. Yeah. But if you ask me to pay, and anytime, pay, it will be better. Pay, it will be better. How many years are we going to pay?
You see, the only thing is that if a specific company, a government entity, is supposed to supply a service, and it is not doing that, you just go and file a writ of mandamus, asking the court to compel them to do what they are doing. They are expected to do under the law.
So, thank you. That's why I'm saying that I am glad I'm here today. You know,
and I'm glad you're all here.
At least I can pay the filing fee.
At least. You're watching GTV Breakfast, Kofi Capital, Dr. Kweku Ananijinde, my guest this morning. Your comments on 055-556-1034. A couple of headlines before we look at school placement issues. Daily Graphic, stop $88 billion illegal outflow from Africa. Akufo-Addo urges states. GES cautions public over cash for SHS placements. And policeman leaves service rifle in Trotro. Today's Daily Graphic.
After trying to collect money.
Ghanaian Times, domestic debt exchange program, government to announce new deal today as deadline for voluntary individual bondholder participation ends tomorrow. And ex-President Mahama advocates re-institution, extension of debt services initiative for debt-strapped countries. The Finder leads with domestic debt exchange gathers momentum as 3 institutional bondholders join. Don't jail me if I fail to pay 20 million cedis in April. Atu Essien appeals to court. It's Capital Bank issues. Those are your headlines in the papers today. I will come to my guests in a short while, but I just want to let you know that tomorrow, the Fourth Estate newspaper is doing a piece on school placement, and we want to give you snippets of what will be hitting the media pretty soon. Okay, so these are some excerpts from the school placement investigative piece by the Fourth Estate.
The Ministry of Education set up a resolution center at the Nat Hall complex to resolve complaints regarding the computerized school placement system. When the Fourth Estate visited the center, desperate parents were found negotiating and seeking help on the placement of their wards. In that building was a network of security men and cleaners who served as liaisons between the desperate parent and officials of the CSSPS. The Fourth Estate reporter who went undercover met Eric Agri, a cleaner. He indicated he could help change a placement from Apam Senior High School to Mfantam.
Big school and big school, and yet better says the amount I will have it. Still with me answer from
But in less than 24 hours, Eric increased the amount from 7,000 to 7,500 Ghana cedis and would not reduce it. We presented another candidate who had been placed in Wesley Girls in Accra and wanted a higher grade school, Agri Memorial Zion Senior High School in Cape Coast. Eric demanded 8,500 Ghana cedis for that slot. After demanding and receiving payments, the syndicates changed the placements of the candidate from Accra Girls Wesley to Agri Memorial Zion Senior High School in 2 days. Why are they? With 8,500 cedis, the CSSPS was undermined as placements was changed from Accra Wesley Girls to Agri Memorial Zion School, Cape Coast, and with 11,000 Ghana cedis, placements was changed from Presbyterian Senior High Technical School, Ebri, to Mfantaman Girls Senior High School. The most sought-after Category A schools such as Wesley Girls at the time of our investigation were going for as high as 20,000 Ghana cedis.
If only 2 people have access to Category A schools, we're able to tell who did the placement for a certain student. So if these allegations come up saying that, oh, a parent have paid money and this student have found himself at this school, you go to the system and IT people are able to tell which of the 2 people did the placement. So it becomes much easier than a situation where you have 100 people with IDs and it takes you so long to determine who did the placement for this person. So that is why access to Category A is very restricted.
if there's fraud in the matter, then myself as Director General and the Minister should take the responsibility. I fully accept that and I fully agree. But that is also the reason why I knew that I'm part of it. I took measures to ensure that the issues relating to corruption and the place on the payment of monies and things like that have been dealt with. And I wrote to the CID and then the BNI.
So this is an investigation from the Fourth Estate newspaper, and I'll just give you a couple of highlights. So when general placements are done on merit, 10% of the vacancies in category A and B schools are reserved for protocol placement. This 10% is equally shared between the schools and Ministry of Education, GES. Some of these protocol places are sold out to the highest bidders. At the time of the investigation of Fourth Estate, they were selling places from between 5,000 cedis to 20,000 cedis. To be able to place a student into a category A school, only the Minister of Education and the Director General of the GES had the password to do that. This means if you bought a category A school place from anyone in Boku or Aksim, only the Director General or the Minister could approve before the posting could be done. A woman who once worked at the canteen of the Education Ministry took 11,000 cedis from the Fourth Estate undercover team, successfully changed the placement from Ibri SecTech to Fansimam Girls, a grade A school. So who approved it? The Minister or the Director General of the GES? Who took that name to their desk? Now, the former Director General of the GES said that when he started raising concerns about fraud in the system, he was logged out of the back end, where over the years, the people with category A access could see what posting and changes others made. This means only the Minister had access to post students to category A schools. The former Director of GES petitioned the CID and NIB, but both started the investigation and suddenly stopped it. So these are some of the highlights from this investigative piece that is breaking. And Doc, your comments?
See, Kafui, see, Kwame Nkrumah once said that to fight corruption, your greatest weapon is to build a very strong public opinion against it. If there's a swell of public opinion against corruption, then we'll be making a headway. But it appears the parents are prepared
To pay.
to be accomplices. And then those who are taking the money to, they don't have it. Somebody tells you in the face, bring this openly. I feel very sad for this country because we all went to school. Fortunately, the time that we went to school, some of these things were not there. I applied to go to St. Charles from Bamboy. My father was even late at that time. I didn't know anybody. So there was no issue of protocol, knowing somebody before. But because we were determined, we did the best that we could. And we were able to go to sixth form, did whatever we wanted.
Nobody did protocol for you.
No. Who knows your father? Who knows your mother?
Your father was not even alive.
He was not even alive for somebody to know him. But we worked our way through hard work, dedication, discipline.
Why is it that now that we have technology and everything,
You see, I blame the parents. Some parents are even prepared to go and buy past questions for their children.
Our government is buying.
And government is also buying past questions. I mean, where I went to school, St. Charles, the moment you enter that school, you know your A level is assured. You go to sixth form because they teach you that the only way you can go through is through hard work. And this is what we did. But these days, people want to have the easy way out. So I blame parents, I blame society because Ghanaians have developed the appetite for evil doing, for the wrong things. Now, if you want to do the right thing, you become public enemy number one. Right. So we've normalized what is abnormal.
The cleaner is the connection guy.
So what is abnormal is what we now abnormalize. Wow. What we now normalize and then accepted that. You see, it is the collective responsibility of everybody to fight corruption. If we leave it to only the politicians or whatever, we will not succeed. But remember, this country belongs to all of us, not the politicians. If anything, we are in the majority. the ordinary people. So we have to fight and insist that the right thing should be done. But you can't insist on the right thing to be done when you yourself are doing the wrong thing.
Good point there. Kofi Kapito.
I'm sorry. I feel very sad today.
Yeah, it's criminal actually. Changing positions. So what happened to the person who was already posted to, say, Abri Girls? And you are going to bump that person off. What happens to that person?
Who cares? Who cares? Kafui. Who cares? We don't build a country like that. Some of us, we left our jobs outside thinking that we were all coming home to contribute and to build. I had a very good job in the UK. I was working and also lecturing at the same time and being paid in pound sterling. But we decided to let go home and then build our country because it is not worth it, Kofi, to stay outside, pay taxes, develop other people's countries when your country needs you. But if you come and you see all these things, Kafui, it becomes very disheartening. But we won't give up.
Do you regret sometimes that you can't?
Well, sometimes, Kafui, sometimes you ask yourself, is that the right decision? Not regret as such. Is that the right decision?
Question yourself.
But I think we have a country to build. And it is only Ghanaians who can build Ghana.
Thank you.
Kav,
Go.
my sadness is the fact that somebody was trying to change my old alma mater, APAM Secondary.
Can you imagine?
And the person is going to do economics. APAM is known for economics. Since I was there. You know, as for liberal arts, that's why we have Supreme Court judges, like the Chief Justice, even in the old school of APAM Secondary, the current Chief Justice. Go and check how many justices of the law went through APAM. As for liberal arts, APAM was there. So I'm a little bit disappointed. Anyway, look, let me tell you what. When you don't have good institutions, this is what happens. Even the ones that has the best institutions sometimes would even go through this. About 2 years ago, there's a scandal, big scandal, in America about the admissions, just like the same at the university level. There, it is not as chaotic as a cleaner. Who is the middle person? Some guy has set up a whole business and he collects money through endowments. So the money, even the bribe that he gets, or the money that he gets from the parents, some of them end up, because when you donate to the school, that is where you are considered. When you have some, look, APAM Secondary was known for athletics. My old headmaster, P.O. Radio, may the Lord, bless his soul. As long as you're an athlete, you had to go there. That is how we build institutions. This money's Kafui in Ghana, not to do with even this computer placement. We know GES is aware. The Ministry of everybody, the Directorate of Ghana Education Services, everybody. Kafui, if you like, when are they starting the admissions? The placements? You say the results are out, right?
Yeah, results are out. Results came out last week.
Go to the Ministry of Education and go and see. Not the Ministry of Education. Go and see. The minister is there.
They said they have 10%, according to the investigation, 10% of the allocations is
I
protocol.
don't have a
GES,
problem.
minister,
I don't have a problem
and the schools.
with protocol.
Why should there be protocol?
Hold on, no. Everywhere there's protocol. Let's assume.
In America too?
Oh, yeah. There's protocol. Hey, why not? But protocol with good qualification. They don't take somebody who has failed. Ghana people who failed are the ones who get the protocol. It's not that the person has even passed, but that you say, let me go and use a protocol to admit him. They don't. And this whole grade A school, grade B school, category C.
Who determined those things?
Ask the minister. Ask the minister. Ask him. America that he came from. Is that how they do it? You know, like he said, we all come back. I get angry for people who come back from abroad and pronounce themselves in the powers, in the corridors of powers, telling them that when I was here, do you know, they are not doing focal. Because
remember, power corrupts.
No, it's not power corrupt. No, but you see, Doc, let me explain. let me explain. There's a limit that somebody should be corrupt.
Yeah.
If you're a minister, almost everything that you want or you need has been given to you by the state.
True. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you set a standard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If, let's say, the director of Cocoa Board or the CEO of Cocoa Board, the CEO of Bank of Ghana, all these big people that VRA, that they make over 100,000 cedis a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
They live in a free house, have a free car, don't pay electricity, don't pay water, don't pay a gardener. Why do you still want to steal money? Are you getting my point? The issue is we cannot have a country where we are treating ourselves like that. Have we? This corruption, it is in there. The question is, we refuse to say that it is there. Look, every parent would want their child to get a good school. I mean, I'm a parent, okay, and I don't want my child to get a bad school. So you can't blame the parent. All I'm saying is the system of the way we are doing our education. When you tell people, especially this minister, who comes from abroad, America to be precise, who knows that you don't do free boarding school, period, because the state cannot afford to pay for free boarding anymore. What we need is community day schools. So the cluster of schools serving a certain area. Then if you can walk, you walk. Where he comes from, ask him. His children, when they walk into school or when they taking the bus from his neighborhood to their school, they could not even cross the border. If you are at Ablekuma North, you can't go to Ablekuma South. And I get angry with people who come and they should know better. And they come and condone this nonsense that we've been doing to ourselves for all these years. He's a freaking minister. He should fix this. I'm tired of excuses. A minister that comes and tell me that government took money to go and buy past questions. And then we applaud for him. Pasco. Why? Why is the government wasting our tax money to buy Pasco? And we don't even know how much they paid for the Pasco.
We will get responses from the ministry on this particular issue. Have no fear. We're going to do a little bit of international news, but it affects Ghana as well, and then we'll get an international outlook on this right now. So because at least 4,000 Burkina Faso nationals are seeking refuge in some parts of Boku West district of the Upper East region following terrorist attacks in some border communities in Burkina Faso. The refugees moved to Ghana after some homes in Zouagu, Bugri, and Zabre, farming communities in Burkina Faso, including a police station, were attacked by terrorists believed to be jihadists, leading to loss of lives. Many people, especially women and children, have been displaced as a result, while others have sought asylum in other areas, including our country, Ghana. The situation is causing fear and panic among residents in the border communities, including Widnaba, Sogo, Sapeliga, Kansogo, and Gogo in the Boku West district, and also in Bansi in Boku, where most of the refugees are being hosted. On the line, we have our Upper East regional correspondent, Mr. Peter Agengere. Peter, good morning. Welcome to the show. Happy New Year. Not so happy times for the people who have moved into Ghana. Tell us what's happening right now.
Thank you very much, and good morning to you, Kabude, and to the breakfast team. Currently, I am at Widnaba, that is in the Boku West district. This particular place is called Werik. Yes, so I'm currently at the Werik community here in the Boku West district, where these refugees got here some few weeks ago. It's about 3 weeks now. That according to the National Disaster Mobilization Agency, that's NATMO, they told us that they have recorded over 5,000 refugees coming from Burkina Faso. They were here due to some political instability in the where they were, and this was the only place that they could just seek refuge. And so they were here for the past 3 weeks. They've been staying in schools and some places that really was not very conducive for them. So when I got here this morning, I realized that I saw some of them seated just around some fire, because the place is very cold. So you can even see some fire just here, just because they were just to, just to warm themselves. And I came back. If you look around, there's some mountains that is dividing Burkina Faso and that of the village here in the Were. And when I got here, some of them had already left the place. I understand that they had to leave the place because they have gone back to Burkina Faso to look at maybe see if they can find some food to come back. But because they've been here for a very long time and they've decided to now, some of them have decided to go back. A few of them are here. I was able to see a few of them who are still around, and I just want to talk to them and find out from them what they have to share with us about their stay here. Can you speak to me?
So these are
so he really cannot speak English to us. Hello.
Yes, sir. Peter, I'm listening to you.
Yes. So he's speaking Kusal, and he's explaining to us what brought them here.
Right.
So
listen and then give us the translation.
Yes. Okay, so it said they were at the workplace, and they were at the workplace when they saw that some places, they were burning some places around there, where they were staying. I understand that they were burning some electric poles and some some service poles around their area, and so they felt that the place was insecure for them to continue to stay, and that is how come they left the place. Yes. What's your name? Salifu. How old are you? Okay, so Salifu is 19 years. He also got here due to the instability over there. He is telling us that he also got here because they had to run for their lives due to what was going on. Okay. Okay. So that he saw some people who he can describe as he can say that maybe they are jihadists who were killing the people in near their neighbors. So they had to also get up and run away, and that is how come that they got themselves here. You know, the mountain, you can see the mountain is just dividing the Burkina Faso and that of this particular community, and so it's very easy to run to the Were community in the Boku West district here. It is just let me say 1 hour walk away from that particular community or from Burkina Faso to this place, and so that is how come that they are here. Who is the other person? Yes. So you tell us. Tom City. So yam bekala from the anela. Okay. So this gentleman is also just telling us that yes, they had to come here. They came with some animals. It was later on that they had to go back and bring their animals back to this place, so that when I came, some of these animals were inside some houses here that they rear. So they just send the animals outside to graze. But I can say that they are not comfortable as of now. They are not comfortable where they are staying because they do not have people here. They only came in. Some of them, families have received them. Other maybe relatives, maybe their in-laws and all that. They are the people who have received them, and they are just having some few a few days or few weeks to stay here, and they are hoping that they will still go back to Burkina Faso to continue their work. Over to you, Kafwede.
Right, Peter, before you go, I just want to know where they were staying. You said some of them are living with family. But do you have any presence of Ghanaian authorities? Is it the NADMO, the local assembly? Have they set up any tents to house these people, or they are just being absorbed by people that they know?
All right. So they are being absorbed by people that they know. You know, some of them, because it's not far, they got married to some people within this particular community. So when they ran, they came and had to settle with in-laws here. Other than that, the NADMO also came in. The first time they came into this particular community, they gave them a school block where they were staying. They were staying inside the schools, and then a church that is just closer by. So they were staying in those places. Women, children below 18 years. Some of the women, when we came, some of them have left with their children to back to the places, Burkina Faso again. But the first 2 weeks they were here, many children, many of the children less than 18 years were all there. And that is where they were staying. They were staying in schools and also in some churches that they provided for them to stay.
Okay, Peter, thank you so much for the report. Stay safe, and then we'll get back to you with developments. Thank you so much, Peter Agengre, reporting on the plight of the Burkina Faso nationals who are seeking refuge in some parts of Boko West District following terrorist attacks in some border communities in Burkina Faso. It's good that we've been joined by international relations analyst Matthias Bonzo Ereku Boateng for his thoughts on this. Does this surprise you, Matthias? By the way,
well, thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning to you and the viewers.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well.
This year.
Yes.
Well, it does not surprise me looking at the relationship Ghana has with Burkina Faso. You know, during Sankara and Roles, the relationship they had, and then you see, a lot of Burkinabés can identify themselves with Ghanaians. It's the same as Burkina, Cote d'Ivoire, and then Togo. Yeah. You know, these three countries can relate to Ghana well. But when it comes to things like that, we need to be very, very careful. Yes, we should receive them, we should treat them well, but we should also look at the other side of the coin. You know, most of them are coming to Ghana because of the Islamic militant that are rising up in Burkina. But you should. I like the question when as whether the NADMOs or authorities have moved in to look at them. We need to scrutinize them. We need to understand the motive they entered Ghana with. Yes, you know, in the northern part, there are a lot of things happening in the north. So I saw the mountain where the guy said the mountain is dividing Burkina and is it Ghana? Ghana. It's like Noé and then Elibo. You understand? So we need to be very careful. I think authorities must move in, experts must move in, because listen, in matters like this, if you are not careful, you'll be taken by surprise. In matters like this, if you are not careful, you will be taken by surprise.
Meaning there could be some infiltration by some terrorists.
Oh yes, Kofi. It's very, very
masquerading
possible.
as
It
refugees.
is very possible. It is very possible. And then these guys can intentionally ask people to move in, go there, pretend as if you are in trouble, and then you survey the area. I mean, the authorities must move in, and then experts must also look at them, and then see what we can do about it.
All right.
Otherwise, I mean, Ghana, Burkina, we have a very beautiful relationship.
Yeah, it's just a line, really.
Yeah, just a line.
Speaking the same Kusal, you know, it's like Ewe or what is the language that's spoken at Elibo?
Inzima.
It's just lines dividing us, you know. You're watching GTV Breakfast. We've talked about Wache. We've talked about school placement issues. And by the way, we'll be hosting the Minister for Education. He is actually here. And so he'll be here in the next segment. We'll sit down with Thelma and we'll look at the school placement issues. Dr. Yao Edichum, Honorable Minister for Education, is here. And so he'll be stick around for that in a short while. We've dealt with Burkina Faso. I'm going to deal with your messages right now. And we'll end with this day in history. There are some things that will interest all of you here. Okay, messages time. Let's go. Kafwe, move. Good morning, team. In Ghana, the easiest way to make money is to prepare food anywhere, anyhow, sick or not, no checks. Same hands pick the money and dish as well. God save us all. Who checks who? Good question. from Gifty. Mr. Bote, government should take steps to review the free SHS system. Parents should be allowed to pay their awards body fees. Yes. George Kasua. Yes. Nana Kojo, you think people are being compelled in media discussions to suggest solutions to government on how to get out of the debt mess? I don't think it's fair. Government that doesn't seem to admit how we got into this mess must clearly be told how we got here. Thank you very much. Eric K. Bwedi, you are doing some campaigning here. We're not campaigning for anybody here. So I'll slip your message by. Why is government refusing to cut down expenditure? First, you have to resign as a finance minister. Those who are not performing should be reshuffled. Cathedral, put it on hold. Staffers to be reduced drastically to bring relief to the economy. Trisha, kudos to your panel. I have an issue with some of the Veronica buckets. Some vendors use Bula water. Wow. Bula was something else I thought it was, but that's water that comes from the ground, which I do not know the source of. Some Kufor buckets have Spirogyra in them. But they still use them for cooking as well as usage for clients' hands washing before and after eating. I think running water is the best and safest except for the contaminated ones. Thank you so much, Trisha. Osankide, government should line up a better plan for the individual bondholders under the domestic debt exchange program. Thank you from Taifa. The Wache food vendor incident is unfortunate. We've been enjoying this nice Wache for a long time. Food vendors and individuals at home should be alert for food poisoning issues. It's been happening all over in our homes and food joints. Good morning, CAF. I cannot fathom how a trained policeman would leave his rifle in a trot drawer. I highly suspect it was a plot or a case of mental imbalance. There should be thorough investigation. Apparently, he was trying to take some money from the taxi driver and then left his gun in the excitement. Wow, the things money can do. Daniel Otabo Kumsen, the Yellow CC joint case was unfortunate. If it's clear that the joint wasn't FDA certified, then it must attract some punitive action to improve certification. The assembly must look sharp. They must make sure that all these people are certified. We're allowing the assemblies too much leeway. Is FDA expected to get evidence on Monday when the issue happened on Friday? Are we serious? Well, time is what we need. The president of Malawi addressed the people of Malawi regarding corruption and malfeasance of COVID-19 funds, but the president of Ghana remains silent on the Auditor General's report. Okay. 7-Eleven. All right, so these are the messages we're about to dive off. This DDE program, if government cannot take a bold step immediately to invest in agribusiness in sectors like rice, poultry, to create more jobs, generate incomes for people, revenue for government, Ghanaians cannot survive the hardship. Krum, aye, she. I heard about American pork coming into the system. The doors have been opened for pork from Yankee to officially be in the system. Very interesting. Before we wrap up, I traveled to the Volta region over the weekend. I decided to avoid the traffic on the Temamoto way. GPS told me I had 51 minutes of delay. So I went through Afienye and I came across a death trap of a bridge. This is the second time we're reporting on this bridge. And apparently what is happening is that the loaded tipper trucks with lots of heavy cargo are avoiding the way bridge on the Temakosobo Road and passing through Afienye. They have the clouds of dust all over the community. But then when you get to the bridge, there's a bridge there where they basically are destroying this bridge on a daily basis. People have complained and complained and complained. Have a look at the bridge that I drove on. Yeah, that's a bridge. This is a bridge. Wow. Yeah. This is the bridge that I saw. Yeah. Truck just passed by the bridge. Yeah. Yeah, this is a bridge. So you have trotters passing by it, motorbikes, you know, we used to say in Pidgin, jajing, you know, trucks, heavy trucks. They actually drive over the holes. I asked about the assembly member, he's called Mr. Habibu. The people didn't seem to have any confidence in the assembly. But we can see what the problem is. The problem is the big trucks. And if this video rolls long enough, you will see some of the big trucks go across this bridge. This is a bridge between Afienye and Dawenya. This is an old Bailey bridge. It's been there for a long time. There's a water body under it. And I've been speaking to people who say they've had motorbikes and vehicles fall into it. Motorbikes fall into the holes. And the basic thing is just to create a barrier to prevent the trucks from plying this route. You will see a truck come by very soon. It's just avoiding government taxes. The Way Bridge is where you have to pass through on the Temakom. So you have these trucks filled with chippings and heavy loads. They just want to avoid it. So and I actually met a government truck on this bridge. So a government vehicle destroying government property. It rumbled by, and this is not the first time we're talking about this bridge. We've been talking about this bridge for quite some time right now. This is my second report there.
If you want to avoid paying toll or paying government tax, when you fall into this, the money you're going to spend will be more than what you were supposed to pay. So it's somewhere. let's say your truck falls into this bridge. The bridge breaks down, the truck falls, the goods will be perished, the car will be damaged. So why don't you use the normal route and then pay whatever you have to pay?
That's a big truck. Look at it. Boom.
Look at it.
Yep, it went. There is it. I mean, I was there when the truck rumbled by and the whole bridge was just dancing damba, you know. Oh boy. Quick thoughts. You know what? Consumer.
We are waiting for somebody to die.
That's also the comments that we had in the feed. You know, that they are waiting for disaster.
You know, that is exactly what we do as a nation. We are not proactive. Okay. This is something that, look, when I was a kid, my younger brother was in the army. They used to do something called, military tattoo? And then they would display how a unit of the army can build these emergency bridges.
In record
just
time.
Like that. At Kumasi Sports Stadium. At Accra Sports Stadium. They would display. I mean, a Corps of Engineers, the military Corps of Engineers, what are they doing? When they go to war, do you know they can build a bridge just like that?
Yeah, but it is if you give them the opportunity,
they'll do it.
If you ask them to do it, and then they demonstrated it during the COVID time.
Yes.
Look at the speed they used to build that center. They did it. So if you give them the opportunity to do it, they will do it.
Opportunity. You see, it is military is government, police is government, I am government. The question is, somebody is in charge.
It's
somebody's responsibility.
And it must always start from the local authorities, so that they will send the information out there and people work on it.
Captain, sometimes it's the bureaucracy that kills these things.
The bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy kills this.
Let's take a quick report. Keep an eye, and we'll wrap it up on our show, and then we'll hand over to Thelma and the Minister for Education.
I'm supposed to do it.
Darrell Alantego is on the house. He's in the house. He is on a mission to make sure that our beaches are clean. What a mission. And he's live right now. He's going to be talking to us in a short while. Darrell, good morning. Welcome. Which beach are you at?
Hi, good morning, Kafui. Thank you very much for coming to us. We're coming to you from the beach right behind the Black Star Square. And so from where I am, the Black Star Square will be to my left towards the north. And behind me, westwards, will be the Accra Business District. And so if I step slightly to the side, John will home in, so you have what looks slightly like the top of the Bank of Ghana. Slightly to the left will be the lighthouse in Jamestown. And if we're to go towards my right, in which case we're looking towards the Accra Sports Stadium end, you will see well as the Accra Sports Stadium itself in the general direction towards the north. Interesting, Kaf, last week when we were at the La Beach, I mentioned how on a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 is the most filthiest of beaches and 10 is the most cleanest, that beach indeed, if I have to do a sudden comparison, I will definitely say that this beach beats it by a mile, even more, in that this beach is, as far as I can describe it, somehow clean. It beats that one, and so this will be on a 6, which forces me to downgrade the first one in La to about 3 and put this on 5 for good reason. Out here, what we don't have is open defecation. I have observed from the distance behind the Osu Christiansburg Castle, all the way to, as far as my eyes can see, towards the Accra Business District end, and I have not seen one person squattering. What I have seen rather is people exercising on the beach, training. They may be sportsmen or footballers, and they are what I have seen. What I am unhappy about instead, or indeed, is CAF, the usual plastic, the usual filth. This beach is a working beach, and on weekends, Saturdays and Sundays especially, if you find yourself here, you are more than likely to have a bottle of cold beer, to have a bottle of a cold drink, kebabs, food, and all. Yet, when the week sets in and we're going back to work, cleaning becomes a problem. This beach also boasts of 3 bin rubbish receptacles. And so if John will pan towards my right, we'll have the bins sitting behind me towards where the GBC van is parked. You have what we call the Bola container in the general direction towards the Accra Sports Stadium. Underneath that, or behind it, you have a good collection of recyclable material with a few men who work collecting those seated on them. Unfortunately, even though you have this sitting here on the beach, this is what we have. And CAF, I am very confident walking on this beach because unlike where I was last week, where I had to wear a different shoe by the time I finished my reporting, if you're having your breakfast, forgive me, I wore somebody else's stool out from the beach into that car, GBC car. Sad we have to go and wash it. This is one of the unacceptable sites on this beach. It is littered with plastics, and I can see a lot of different pure water sachets. I can see clothes, I can see bottles, I can see other jerseys for teams, I can see toys for kids, a lot of filth sitting here, but not a single fishing net, not a single thing for catching fish, which should tell you that if you come here looking for fish, you're more than likely to go away with rubbish. A man who cleans the beach, this beach, is with me this morning, and I'm going to ask him to come and join me, and he would give us a little background to why cleaning on this beach has become something of a stunted activity. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us. Please tell us your name.
Ni Adokweno.
Ni Adokwenu. This is GTV Breakfast Show. Give us a bit of background. This beach looks a bit clean. How is this all?
Formerly, it was given to CCO, the Coastal Conservancy Organization.
Yes.
And it was being sponsored by GAPOHA.
GAPOHA, which is the Ghana Ports and Harbors Authorities, pay CCO to clean the beach.
Right. And because of the COVID, it was stopped because their funds was down. Okay. You see, but somewhere June this year, last year, yes, the CCO came in with their own capacity. And we clean up to last December.
What role do you play within CCO?
I'm the leader.
You are the leader of CCO, and so you are speaking on authority that you are receiving funds from GAPOHA to clean this beach, and it was stalled during the COVID, but you have remobilized and come back to the beach. Are you still cleaning?
Since December, the CCO can no longer, because there's NGO,
yes.
You see, so they can no longer afford. So last month and then this January, we've not worked.
Right. And so how are you going to go forward in cleaning? Because if we look behind us, there's a lot of rubbish sitting here. This must be taken away because you have a bin there which can be put in there to be taken away for either recycling or burning. How are you going to go forward in continuing?
Our leaders are on their move to have some supporters, you see, fans, you see, NGOs to come in, to have some support from other organizations to let the NGO start again.
This beach generates revenue for itself. We see bars along the stretch of the beach. How are you working with these bars to contribute towards cleaning this beach? And if you are not, when is the assembly going to take the initiative to ensure that these ones pay for collecting of their rubbish?
The assembly, it seems they have is going to give to a contractor, okay, who is coming to take care of his place. Right. And they are yet going with their modalities.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kwenu, for joining GTV Breakfast. And so, Baskaf, to come back to you in the studio, Mr. Kwenu has just given us a bit of background. CCO, the Coastal Conservative Organization, used to clean, but they ran out of funds from GAPOHA, and so they had to mobilize their own way. He's just also said that the Assembly is working on fine-tuning their contract with the bars along the beach who make money from here to contribute at least some portion towards cleaning this beach. Once again, let me say, Keep an Eye is on a mission to cleaning our beach. So we're asking the question, how clean is your beach? I'll be next on your beach. And so if your beach is not as clean and I can't put your beach on 5, then please, from now, get to work on it, because if I get there, I will name your exact location and I will tell the nature of your beach. This has been Keep an Eye, coming to you live from the beach behind the Black Star Square. As always, my name is Darrell Alan Tego, coming to you from the beach. Your chief labourer, hands back to you, Kaf.
And your shoes are safe. Thank you so much, Darrell. Coming your way on Wednesday with another beach report. This is GTV Breakfast. My guests are smiling. We're about wrapping up the show, but today is the 30th of January. 50 years to this date, the largest wholly African-owned brewery company in West Africa was inaugurated. 1973, 30th January, Tata Breweries. The head of state at that time, General Kutu Acheampong, was the guest of honor, and the industrialist behind that operation was Mr. Joshua Kwabena Siao, who was 50 years old on that day, which means today would have been his 100th birthday. His company went through tough times in 79. All his assets were confiscated by the AFRC regime of Ghana under false allegations of tax evasion. He died in London in exile in October 1986. So we remember Joshua Kwabena Siao, who would have been 100 years old today. And 50 years ago to this date, he opened the Tata Breweries, which became Achimota Breweries, and then has now become Guinness Ghana Breweries Limited. So a little bit of history there for you. On this day as well, international man, Gandhi was assassinated.
Yeah, Gandhi was assassinated.
Yes, in 1948.
In 1948.
And in 1933, Das Führer, the Führer, Hitler was made chancellor.
Hitler was made chancellor.
Very unpleasant history. Very unpleasant history. So those are the headlines.
But Gandhi's one was a very tragic one.
Yes, yeah.
You know, he was fighting. Even the people he was fighting for, one of them killed him.
Yes, they killed him.
That was.
So, gentlemen, I thank you so much. Kofi, it's been great.
Gabriel, you know something? You're talking about the Siams and stuff,
yes,
right?
Yes.
You know, Ghana could have been way ahead.
Yes.
By now.
Yeah, definitely.
Back then, there were two private real estate people, two women, Mojebi Edom and Adumovim. My mother is Adumovim.
Let's talk more. Beautiful history.
Two women, apart from State House.
And they were running things.
Now everybody says, if they had been allowed, do you know what they could have done? My mother was not educated, not even went to class 1.
Yeah.
Mojebi Edom, probably the same. Two genius women.
Yeah.
But this is what we do in our country.
They're pulling down.
And then we're talking about industrialization.
It's not going to work.
We could have been,
all the way back.
Lips and bounds by now.
Definitely. So rest in peace, Mr. Siao. He did his bit. Dr. Anani Jinde, danke.
Thank you very much. But I think I've always been making this point that we are a country that continuously blame others for whatever we have.
We should be more responsible.
We should be more responsible.
Thank you. That's
you know the difference between the Jew and then the African?
Tell me after.
The African wants to blame anybody and everybody and tries to justify his failure on others.
Not all Africans.
But the Jews want to see why they must do something. We always find reason why we cannot do something.
It's too broad a generalization.
Good thing.
Thank you very much. Matthias, merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
Thank you. We've got the Minister for Education coming up right after this break. Shout out to you, Papi Kojo. You say GTV is doing a great job, and we want to say thanks a lot to you, Papi Kojo, for your ears and you thinking about us and giving us that shout out there, right there on social media. Big ups to Papi Kojo and everybody else who is loving GTV Breakfast. You stick around. The Minister for Education, Mr. Dr. Yao Educhum, is up next with Thelma on The Scoop. SHS placements will be high on the agenda and other things as well. You stick around, don't go anywhere.